All right, if you can hear me now, let me know. Same Z's from Jake. Can you guys hear me now instead? This is better. Perfect. Great. We are good to go then, if that is the case. Well then, let's get started, guys. All right, we're going to do a little bit of warm-ups first, and then we'll jump into Praise Ye the Lord of Hosts. Here we go, just some hums. Make sure that you're keeping space in the back and that you're still keeping the placement forward. So we don't want it pressed and closed. We don't want any of that. We want space while keeping the sound centered and forward. Yeah? Here we go, down on the V. We want your emphasis to be on the V sound. We don't want you to so much to worry about a pressure. We want to keep the air moving. Here we go. Ready, and... go, tenors. That's about as low as I'm going today. That's what the G flat. There you go. Let's do a little bit of this. You didn't let any of that flip into your head voice just then. You kept it all in supported, right? Let's go up to our head voice now, though. Shoo! And it's going to be harder for you guys than it was the baritones and the basses because your break is very much closer to these pitches than it is for the basses and baritones. So they have much distinct difference in feel than you do. You have more options and more ways to sing one pitch than they do in particular, okay? So up here, all in your head voice, we're going to carry the head voice down. I'll give you a heads up when you want to swap over. And when you swap, try to make it so that nobody, if they were listening to you, could tell that you had swapped, okay? Here we go. 3, and... Shoo! Shoo! We're going to do this one again. I want you to swap on the second to last note. Here we go. Ready? And shoo. Back to your head voice. We're going to swap on the last note. Ready? And shoo. Second to last note. Ready? And shoo. Now notice when you're doing this, you got to keep the weight out of those bottom two or the bottom note whenever you swap. Otherwise, it gives it away, right? So you have to be very intentional, and you really have to set it up. And some of you probably found singing that note really hard in your head voice. So just know that that's something you still want to work on. Even as a tenor, we try not to flip, but it's good to have that in our tool bag if we need it. All right? All right, guys, we're going to jump straight into some music. Go ahead and take a look at Praise Ye the Lord of Hosts for me, please. Let's go ahead and pull it up. We're going to jump in and go ahead and look. We're going to do a quick recap, and we're going to sing through this, and then we're going to look at a one chunk of new material. Okay, so just real fast, we're going to do this 2 times through with the repeats. Yeah, page 1. You should have all these markings. Praise ye the L, that little mark to let you know that the L is pitched on the top note, not the bottom note, right? All right, we're going to ST on the quarter rest, adore him, lift on the and of 4, bless his name, and that's basically it's on the downbeat of 4. Bless his name and worship. Yep. Worship him in his glorious. It's not ein, it's shra, and then we'll put a na at the end. And we'll do this 2 times through. First time through, I'll sing the tenor 1 line. Second time through, I'll sing the tenor 2 line. Here we go. Are you ready? I hope you are, because I'm ready. 2 T. Praise ye the Lord of hosts. Come and adore him. Bless his name and worship him in his holy shrine. Second. Praise ye the Lord of hosts. Come and adore him. Bless his name and worship him in his holy shrine. Good. That's all I wanted to do. So we swapped. First time I did the tenor 1. Second go around I did tenor 2. And if you notice, we are cooking with Crisco, and we're cooking so fast we're going at 100 BPM. So quarter note gets 100. If you are one of those folks just wondering what that tempo was, and this is what it will be for us. Notice that the marking is maestoso. This doesn't have a numerical value attached to it. It is more of a characteristic, and all of you, I'm sure know, maestoso means essentially it's not march-like, but it's regal that you're looking for. Think pomp and circumstance. But I will tell you, most of the time, maestoso is associated with allegro, which is like kind of around 100 to 110. So we are pretty much par for the course. That's a quick overview of the first chunk. I think you all probably feel decently good about this. Let's take a look at measure 17. So that's circle 2. That's the bottom of the page, last bar. So making sure, tenors, that you have these markings. Top of 4, so after the word heavens, we are going to make sure we have an 8th note lift right there. And then we are also going to make sure that we have an 8th note lift after joyful. So make sure you have those marks. Also, make sure you have a mark on the bottom of 4, bottom system, after the word Lord. There's going to be an 8th note lift. Okay? Same for after he cometh. And then we're hallelujah, and then we're off on the rest. Okay? So let's go through the tenor 1 part really fast. I know we've done this, but just a quick reminder. Here we go, tenors. Bottom of page 1. Starting with Sing, O Ye. Here we go. 1, 2, T. Sing, O ye heavens, on earth be ye joyful. Sing ye in praise of the Lord, for he cometh. Hallelujah. Okay, so one reminder. Yes, we're going in the smidgen of the stratosphere, but we're just touching it and coming back down. But what you can do to help yourself is use the air on the word for. Use the F, use that airflow, and put more air through it. Not more pressure, but more air speed with the F. So we have Lord, for, and we want to use the F of for to send all of that air out. So by the time we get to cometh, we need to have a little catch breath because we've used all of our air on that tiny little phraselet. Okay? So we'll go, Lord, for he come, for he... Yeah, wrong pitch. For he come. And we want to make sure that you have all of the air going through on the F, and the high notes will take care of themselves. I promise. The key for you is 4. If you get 4, you're golden and life is good. Okay? Let's do that tenor 1s one time on the bottom of the page. So that's for he cometh, hallelujah, and then we'll go into the tenor 2. Here we go. For he cometh. Here we go. 3 and... For he cometh, hallelujah. And tenor 1s, we're going down on hallelujah. When we get to ya, we want to park. Yeah, we want to go hallelujah. And then it just pushes down. So what I want you to do there is, if I were you, I would just draw myself a little smiley face because you need to smile and brighten. Hallelujah. And don't push. You don't have to push. Just let the pitch set and spin your air and life will be good. All right, tenor 2s. Let's take a look for you guys. We're on the bottom of the first page. It's the Sing, O Ye Heavens. Here we go. 1, 2, T. Sing, O ye heavens, on earth be joyful. Sing ye in praise of the Lord, for he cometh. Alleluia. And you guys don't have too much difficulty. There's not really much to navigate there in your voice. But what I will say is that on the top of 4, circle 3. So top of page 4, top system, last measure. You are kind of living. You've been sitting in a little lower part of your voice. So on earth be ye joyful. Be joyful. That's in a different place than earth. So what you need to do is make sure that you don't add the weight to your voice because you're not going to stay down. You're not going to stay down in that area very long. You're going right back up. Okay, so we want to pretend that we are just going to reach down, touch those 3 notes, and then come right back up, yeah? So all that to say, that's my roundabout way of saying keep the weight out. So if I were to start for the tenor 2s on the top of page 4, pick up to the second measure, that's on earth. So what I would think in my brain, I go 1, 2, 3. On earth be ye joyful, sing ye in praise of the Lord, for he cometh. Alleluia. Does not have to be weighty. It just has to be there. If that makes complete and total sense, yeah? Notice I'm doing these little things with my gesture right now. I'm seated, obviously, and so this is just terrible. You can still sit with good posture, but there's just nothing that beats standing up or sometimes laying on your back and singing. But all that to say, I'm constantly thinking, and all this does for me is think buoyant sound. I need to rejuvenate the sound. I need to spin my air. I need to improve the pitch as it's going, and particularly on my onsets, okay? So just start the air, life will be good. Let's do this, please, gentlemen. We're going to start at circle 2, bottom of page 1. I'll sing the first tenor first go around, and I'll sing second tenor second go around. So we're going to do the repeats, okay? So just making sure that we are all together. Here's our starting pitch. Tenor 2, tenor 1. Here we go. 1, 2, T. Sing, O ye heavens, on earth be ye joyful. Sing ye in praise of the Lord, for he cometh. Alleluia. 1, 2, 3, repeat. Sing, O ye heavens, And you know, tenor twos, it would be so helpful if I sang the right pitch for you, and I messed it up, so I'm going to take the blame for that. Let me go back and reinforce the right note for you. So tenor twos, take a look, pick up On Earth. That's top of 4, first bar into the second bar. There we go, On Earth. Ready? 1, 2, T. On earth be ye joyful, sing ye in praise of the Lord, for he cometh, Alleluia. So where I messed up is actually on circle 3, and I didn't go down all the way on sing ye in. And so I'm going to go ahead and mark that, because that tricked me, because I was looking at it from a distance and did not see that it went down. So make sure you get that marked in your music, please. Sing ye in praise. Tenor twos. Okay? Make sure you take a look at that and take care of that. All right, guys, we are going to leave this particular piece. We might come back to it in a minute, but we're going to go on to Betlehemu. So let's go ahead and swap on over. And I think that you are completely fine on the first page. The awa, yo, ri baba, bo jule. But for kicks and giggles, I'm going to sing through this once for you guys per part. I'm only going to do like 2 times, so if you miss it, shoot me a message and I'll redo it. But if not, we're going to move on. Yuki. All right, tenor ones are pretty stagnant, and that has its own problems, right? So you have to, if you're repeating a pitch and you've sung the same note, gosh, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row. If you look on page 4, you must take ownership of that and go, I've got to give some energy, even more than what I would normally use. So tenor ones, you have that job, top of 4. You sing the same note at D natural 7 times. Yes, stagnant is definitely an understatement. So if I were you, I do this, and this is just me, but I find it helps to have at least somebody's example of what they do with their score markings to give me some type of help in mind. I showed you earlier last week that I use the squiggly line, but if I were here, I would be going, and I would need to move this, and I would not need to be drawing with the highlighter, but I would go squiggle, 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 and my squiggles would get larger as I'm holding it longer. That way I know I'm not done, and I need to keep on keeping on. Tenor twos, you guys have a little easier time because you have a little bit of a melody. So let's start with the tenor twos, please. Notice tenor twos, you have the melody. It's just augmented, and by that I mean it's literally doubled or tripled in value, right? So if I were to just play your thing, it's there's like one change on Baba Fahenti, but it's still the melody, yeah? So treat it as such. Here we go, tenor twos. Bottom of the first page, last bar. 2, T. Now, if you are astute, which I know most of you are, notice that on the dotted half notes, which happen, top of 4, the first measure, the last measure, I'm going to move this out of the way, the bottom system second measure, let's go to the next page, top of that page on the repeat. Are you noticing a pattern here? On every dotted half note, when I'm holding this, I need to be doing something. And in this particular moment, I'm choosing to crescendo because if you look beneath you, you're seeing these moving eighth notes, right? So if you put a crescendo in while you're thinking spin the air, you're going to help add that energy that you're looking for, okay? So crescendo on the ends of these, but here's what I'm going to ask you. To be very intentional on preparing the release of these crescendoed pitches, because you have a responsibility. If you're crescendoing, you can't do this. I'm going to pick a note, top of 4, last measure. Baba Bojule. Yeah, did you hear what I just did? I changed notes. Or Jule. Right? So when you lift, it still has to be on the same pitch, even after you've crescendoed. All right? So just make sure that the release of your note is the same pitch that you started singing when you first began. Okay? That's your job. All right, tenor ones, real fast. Here we go. 2, bottom of the first page, last measure. 2 and T and. Oh, Lord, you really have to fill up the gas can for that. If not, then you're just out of luck, right? All right, so 2 things. Your hen T, make sure that you don't pinch the E vowel on hen T, so that hen T, none of that. Yeah, keep it open, just like our hums. Hen T. All right, make sure you do that. And then one other thing, the U vowel, we went Baba Boju. And all of a sudden we went from this massive manufactured space because of the ah vowel to this extremely closed space of an oo. And what does that do? That makes the sound naturally get softer because the armature closes. So you could sing the same volume on the inside and move the air, but by closing your mouth, it's going to get quieter. Here's what you need to do to combat that. You need to make sure that you don't push against the oo and cause tension or make the pitch push down. So when you get to the oo vowel, you need to make sure that you have a little tension in your lips, like little. So make sure you do a little lip wiggle. Yep. Baba Bojule. And if you got that on video right now and took a screenshot of that, congratulations for you. But make sure that you're doing that, okay? All right, on to new things. Real fast, repeat on page 6. All right, at this point, I hope you are all doing the hand clap. Yeah, and you're feeling the space between the dotted quarters. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, okay. You're not thinking 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. That's disconnected. You got to feel the lilt and the pulse. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's start with the tenor 2s. Ready, tenors? 2 and ready, tenor 2, go. Awa yodri baba bojule, awa yodri baba fehenti, awa yodri baba bojule, awa yodri baba fehenti. And then we'll nibola. Tenor 1s. Here we go, guys. 2 and T and 4. Awa yodri baba bojule, awa yodri baba fehenti, awa yodri baba bojule, awa yodri baba fehenti. And then we get to nibola. All right, so make sure that you're doing baba fehenti, henti. I made a decision. I like that a little quick close to the end on henti, which happens on the bottom of page 6. Baba fe hen. So make sure you go to the hen, and it sounds just like hen. And what I don't want is this. Hen. No pressing. It's just literally the tongue. Baba fe hen. Baba fe hen. So practice that about 4 or 5 times out of context. Baba fehen, Baba fehenti, Baba fehen. That's all you have to do until it feels natural. You're not working at it, and it just feels normal. At that point, put it back in time. Okay? All right, you guys have done this 10 times over. Let's take a look at the next section. And at this point, if you have water, I would be drinking it right about now. All right, so all of our shoes. Tenor ones. Here's the deal. And once we get to the all that, yeah. If I were you, and you can tailor make this to your own particular preference, but I swap to my head voice on the G. La. It works for me. I use the L of the la. And I put it in my head voice. So when I get to la, this is where I'm making the shift, and I'll make a little thing there, or I'll just do this. So I know that this is going to be a different place, and then I go back. So from here, from the top of 7, that G, until the end of this bar, I'm in head voice. And then I go back to my chest voice. Okay, so how that would look. So if I really slow this down. And notice that I didn't sing yay. It was almost a schwa. That's all it is. Okay, and nobody is going to know that you're not singing Yezu, because the under voices are doing that. Life is good. Okay, Yezu. The zoo is still in my head voice, and notice it's hooty, and that's okay, because we don't need zoo. We don't need any of that. So keep it light. Keep it in the head voice, and then we get to go back down. Flip the page. It's the same old, same old. These 2 bars are in head voice. Actually, really starting at the G is in head voice. So I'll go right there. And then the rest of it is in chest voice. Okay? So if you can do that tenor ones, this is what I would recommend practicing. Flip it back again. That's all you need to do. And I would practice that 10 times over before you do anything else, okay? Tenor twos, you have life a little easier. If I were you, tenor twos, I would flip to head voice at the F. So this is where you begin your nibos, nibolas, and this is in chest, ni, head. Back to chest voice. So you only sing head voice in basically 3 pitches, and then you're back to chest. That's going to be a little bit more difficult for you all, but let's try it. Here we go. Tenor twos, top of 7, last bar. A little bit really slow. 3 and 4 and do that one more time. 3 and we're not in 4/4. We're in 6/8. Sorry about that, guys. 4, 5, 6, 1. And it might even behoove you to sing Ye of Yezu in your head voice as well. You have a choice there. You can either do that one in head or chest. But definitely on the B flat, go back to your chest voice. Okay? I will leave that up to you. Let's do this in time, please. Top of 7, last measure. This is for tenor twos. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nibola Yezu. Nibola bibi. One more time. Nibola Yezu. Nibola bibi. And we'll bet to Lehemu later. But right now, we need to get on our Zoom call for the rest of the guys. So I will see you all in about 30 seconds. All right, guys. See you in a second.